All right, NASCAR rule changes, which I'm sure you saw.
I did. They made a bunch of them. The biggest one, obviously, that got the most pub was kind of the wall riding that Chastain did. I mean, from the car owner standpoint, that was a must. I mean, those cars are nearly $300,000 or more, and it was going to be necessary. If you look at the time he gained, which was about 3 seconds or so, it was going to force the field to destroy their car on the last lap to not get past. So
you think it would be if there was no rule? You think you'd see that every race?
No, just at tracks where the center of the corner is a slow speed.
Right,
so
but that's only a handful of tracks.
Martinsville was going to be the perfect storm for it. It was the track that it was going to work the best. So it did. I'm glad that it's over with. I'm tired of seeing it. It affected me. It was novelties are fun as long as they don't affect you. But I got the short end of that stick. I'm going through the pack, and it's like, we had another bad pit stop. Last year was tough for us on pit road. We controlled the race. We dominated the race, and then we had a bad pit stop, and they said, all right, we got to gain 3 positions. And the one had a great pit stop. So he was in front of me, and I got around him and then just started putting cars between us. And I'm like, I'm just putting a clinic on here. It's like, and he's like, all right, we're 2 behind. We're 1 behind. We're good. We're up 1. We're up 2. And I go into the last corner, and I'm, about to make a move on Brad. And I'm like, well, I'm up 2. I don't need to. I'm good here. And, because I knew that he wasn't going to pass 2 cars in a half straightaway. But I think he passed like 5 or 8.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so then what do you make? What do you make of like when Kyle Larson attempted that sort of thing?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because
to me they seem like
sort of
two
like the
different...
same thing. It's sort of like the same thing, right? But it wasn't.
Right.
He tried it. I mean, he even admitted that he went into that corner with the intention of not letting up. And what is it with people trying to wall ride me? Why am I always in this thing? Like, I'm telling you, man, I have to be the most unlucky driver ever. I just don't, I can't. Again, I only know because it's my life and the things that have affected me, and everyone has bad beats, right? Just crazy things of, we should have won this or we should have done that. But like, man, the shouldas, it's just such a long list.
The more it happens, though, the more like people will start believing that it's like, oh yeah, maybe Denny just is the unlucky guy, right?
Yeah. What I say last year, I'm the black cat of death when it comes to winning a championship. We're gonna keep trying, Jared. Keep trying. The other big rule changes has been that they're not suspending the crew chief for 4 races when you lose a wheel. It's a difference if you lose it on pit road versus on the racetrack. I think all those rule changes are good. I think that they were thought out. Those are things that they did discuss with the ownership group and the teams. It's a good compromise. I certainly think that if you lose a wheel, it is self-policing. Like it's a real bad detriment to you anyway. Nobody wants to lose a wheel. This was all started when Tony Stewart ran his mouth and was like, guys are intentionally putting on 2 and 3 lug nuts. There's only one now. And if you don't tighten it, you're in big trouble. So I always said, I just wish Tony would go there and say, I apologize. Like, how much money did these teams pay in fines for 1 lug nut loose? Like, this is crazy. A lot of boat fuel money. Got to keep them afloat. So yeah, that's there is a lot of rule changes, but I don't. They added some True's rule stuff. There was some talk on the driver text about like, why is it not on road courses? Which I believe it's not on road courses. I could be wrong, but I think you just put it everywhere. I guess, but not sure how that's all going to work, but they'll figure it out. I think all the rule changes, there was nothing that I saw that was like, I'm not really sure about that. I think they made the right call.
What about
all of them.
super speedways? Does that change anything on restarts? Picking the guy
we're choosing now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, in super speedways, you've always been able to choose the front row. And you know how I feel like I lost the 2018 Daytona 500 is just choosing the wrong lane. I knew what my playbook had said for me to do, and I went against it because of the circumstances of the cars, who was behind me and what cars were 2 and 3 rows back. And that was the one that, you know, Austin Dillon won because he was on the opposite side of that. So, yeah, it was, I think it's good. It's certainly, the thing about super speedway cars, though, is they're not very agile. Like, you can't swerve very quickly. So, I think someone's going to get caught, like, sitting, you know, driving over the box because these cars just, their steering racks are a lot slower. They don't move around as quick. So that's pretty much all we got as far as rule changes that are the big hitters.